It's 2 p.m. and you make a deal with yourself. I'm just gonna quickly Google one thing for this project. Famous last words. You open your phone and suddenly you're in what I call the research rabbit hole of no return. One tab becomes 5. 5 becomes 20. You find yourself watching a 9-minute video about why cats knock things off tables. And honestly, it's riveting. You're learning. You're growing. You're also completely avoiding your project. And somehow it's now 6 p.m. Where did 4 hours go? Did someone steal them? Did time just evaporate? This is the cycle of procrastination, my friends. And if you haven't experienced this, you're either lying or a superhero, maybe both. So here's the million-dollar question. Why do we do this? Why do we sabotage ourselves like this? Why is your brain actively working against you like a villain in a bad action movie? Let me be clear about something first. Not all delay is procrastination. Sometimes you're being smart, prioritizing tasks, managing your time like an adult. But procrastination? That's different. Procrastination is when you avoid something you promised yourself you'd do, knowing full well it's going to blow up in your face. It's basically paying future you to suffer so present you can watch cat videos guilt-free. Spoiler alert, it's not a good deal. Here's the wild part, and this is where it gets weird. Procrastination isn't actually your brain being lazy. Your brain is trying to protect you. Yeah, really. It's like an overprotective parent, except instead of keeping you safe, it's keeping you scrolling. When you think about that project, your amygdala, this tiny almond-shaped part of your brain that handles emotions and threats, basically freaks out. It releases adrenaline, like you just spotted a bear in your living room. Your body thinks the project deadline is a legitimate survival threat. So what does your prefrontal cortex do? The part that's supposed to help you think clearly and make good decisions? It gets completely overwhelmed. And in that moment of panic, your brain's solution is genius in its stupidity. Avoid the threat. Distract yourself. Pick up the phone. Scroll. Problem solved. It was not solved. This might sound dramatic. It's just a project, you say, not a bear attack. But here's the thing. We procrastinate hardest on tasks that make us feel terrible, tasks that make us feel stressed, incompetent, or like we're going to fail. And get this, the longer you procrastinate, the more difficult and stressful the task becomes in your mind. It's like your brain is playing the world's worst prank on you. Scientists studied this with university students. They gave them reminders to study throughout the day. When students were actually studying, most said, it's not so bad. But when they were procrastinating, they rated studying as absolutely terrifying. It was like they thought the textbook would bite them. The task didn't change. Their perception changed. And perception is everything. Now, before you blame yourself, here's something important. Not all procrastinators are lazy. Lazy people just sit. They do nothing. They're vibing. Procrastinators, we're usually the opposite. We're anxious. We care too much. We're afraid our work won't be good enough. A lot of procrastinators are actually perfectionists in disguise, paralyzed by the fear that whatever they create won't live up to their own standards. So they don't create anything at all. Solid logic, right? But here's where it gets darker. Constant procrastination messes with your health. We're talking anxiety, depression, shame spirals, stress that literally makes your body ache. And the worst part? The procrastination temporarily makes you feel better. You avoid the task, you feel relieved, so your brain learns that avoidance equals relief. Now you're trapped in a loop, a vicious, scrolling cycle of doom. So how do we break free? The old advice was always, just have more discipline, get organized, make a schedule. But guess what? That makes it worse. Being hard on yourself just adds more negative emotions to the pile. Now you're stressed about the task, and guilty about procrastinating, and mad at yourself for procrastinating. It's like paying extra fees on your problems. The secret? You have to deal with the emotions first. Break the task into smaller, less terrifying chunks. Journal about why it's stressing you out, and actually address those fears. And here's the big one, physically remove the temptations. Put your phone in another room. Delete the app. Make it annoying to distract yourself. Your future self will thank you. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Make a plan to do better next time. Stop treating yourself like you're the enemy. Because here's the truth. This cycle of stress and procrastination doesn't just hurt you individually. It hurts all of us. We're living in a culture that runs on last-minute panic and midnight deadlines, and honestly, we deserve better than that. So next time you're tempted to open that phone just for a second, remember, you're not weak, you're not lazy, you're human, and your brain is just trying to protect you in the dumbest way possible. Now go do that thing you've been avoiding.